What's the very first thing that you notice?
I notice it's a garden-like setting. It's bright, luminous with the sun, and everything looks quite beautiful. It's a garden type setting, like natural,
Uh-huh.
with lots of foliage around, and I see some bright colors like floral, like plants. And it just feels very peaceful,
Oh,
very harmonious.
oh, wonderful. And are there any smells that you can smell there or any sounds you can hear there?
I hear animals, I hear the chirping of birds, like the chattering of monkeys. I smell the foliage, some sweet smells of plants.
If if you
And
look, go ahead.
I'm starting to smell like a fire, like somebody's roasting something over a flame.
Oh, and can you see the fire from where you are? Or do you get a sense if it's close by?
I think it's fairly close by, but I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. If you look down, do you have feet there?
Yes, they're they're a type of sandal on my feet. It kind of looks like what we would think kind of like a Grecian looking type sandal or Romanesque type sandal with cords wrapping around and tying at the ankle.
What does it look like these cords are made out of?
It's it looks like they're golden in color, and they could be leather, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. What about the rest of your body?
As I feel my body, I feel slender. I feel youthful, female, and I feel this sense of a love of life.
Uh-huh. Oh, tell me about that.
I feel a sense of like wonder, like waking up to each day and being excited what the day will bring, looking forward to the adventure of the day.
And do you get a sense as to how you spend your days in this place?
I see myself walking in nature, like a sense of exploring.
Mm-hmm.
I I see myself very interested in the plants and the animals, uh, like almost like a biologist or someone who catalogs plants and animals. There's a sense of that.
Oh, and how do you catalog them?
Observation, I first to observe. Uh, I see myself drawing images of different creatures, different plants, like in a book like. Uh,
Tell
yes,
me, tell me about your book. What does this book look like it's made out of?
the pages look not like paper, but more like a papyrus type.
Uh-huh.
yeah, not cloth, but a papyrus, but it is a little bit bigger than our normal size book. It's blank, and I fill in the pages with my observations and my notes and my drawings.
And do you get a sense of, as to what tools you use to put these notes and drawings in? If you look at your tools, what do they look like?
It There's something that looks almost like a piece of charcoal, but I see that from the drawings in the book, it's more precise than a stick of charcoal would be. Oh, it's the property of it is a little bit more elegant than drawing with a charcoal, and it's more permanent. It doesn't smear. So I'm not quite sure what that material is, but there's also something that looks like like a a writing implement, it's kind of like a cross between a pencil and a pen. I mean, it looks sort of like a pencil, and I see that I have different colors, almost like colored pencils.
How would
But
you
again,
describe these?
but they render a more permanent, like once I make a mark, it's permanent, like a pen would be, but it's not a pen nor a pencil.
Oh, so interesting. Is there anything else you notice about these tools that you could describe there?
And there's another implement that has the function of an eraser, that it's almost like a little miracle tool, because if a mistake is made, it it can remove that permanent line.
What does this tool look like?
Interesting. So it's like a little device, and when I press, it's like a button. It emits like a beam of light that it's like it disintegrates the particles that make up the line on the paper. It's like it dissolves the matter, but just of the writing implement.
Oh, and you said that it looks like papyrus that you're writing on. What does it feel like, the texture of the paper?
The texture, it's not completely smooth like a piece of paper, like there's more of a grain to it.
Uh-huh.
Like if you had a heavy art paper, it has a bit of a grain to it, and it's not white in color. It's more a natural kind of color.
Oh, okay. And is there any writing that you put in this book or just pictures?
No, I like write lots of notes.
Do
But
you
as
write
I
right to left or left to right? Do you notice?
oh, I think I do right to left.
Oh, interesting. What does the writing look like?
It they're characters. They're not like letters. They're more oh, it kind of like cuneiform. It's more like I see lots of wedgy shapes and and flowing curving lines that make up the script, but it has no resemblance to today's script.
Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. And so you spend your time doing this, observing the animals and writing it down in this book. And do you ever spend time with anybody else there?
I have a sense of, yes, there are others, but I'm very intent on my own work and prefer to go out on my own.
I see. Okay. Is there anything else that you notice that looks important about this?
I just have a sense that I'm a scribe. I'm a type of scribe uh, for chronicling these observations I'm making of the local nature.
Oh, and do you get a sense as to why that is your job?
This is the work I love.
Oh,
It's the work I wanted to do. I chose.
oh, see? Is there any nature that you find most amazing?
I see myself enthralled by bigger animals. I see a tiger looking creature that I just adore it. I find it so beautiful and so majestic. And I find that I may walk amongst such animals without any fear.
Oh, tell me about that. Do you get a sense as to what you do in order to do this?
I have a sense of I know how to talk with the animals, not talk, but it's like I feel a bond to them. I feel like I'm able to communicate with them. And it's very positive things, most of all, a sense of love
Hmm,
that we communicate in a way, you might say, love
I see.
and respect.
That's amazing. Is there anything else you find important or interesting about this scene that you're looking at right now?
This place is meant for something. I'm just trying to understand the feelings. It's meant to be a type of landing place that we're like a scouting team that is preparing what has been decided to be a landing place
Oh, and you get
for
a
our
sense,
people.
oh, and you get a sense as to why this particular place?
We find that it has the resources that will sustain us. And I have a sense of it's what our people do, that we do colonize other places, other worlds, that we like to expand our knowledge pool, and we work to also exchange with other cultures.
Oh, I see. Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's leave that scene and let's move ahead in time in that same lifetime to where something important is happening and be there now. What's the very first thing that you notice?
There's something wrong. There's something aggressive happening. There's something that I find myself quite upset about. And I'm not sure yet exactly there's like a struggle going on.
Oh, What do you see around you?
There are others who have come, who are not my people and who are not indigenous to this world. There are others who have come and they have ill intent. They have a darkness about them, a sense of conquest about them. And
You get a sense as to why?
there is an argument ensuing. My people are telling this group of people that they do not belong, that we have already claimed this particular landmass and they must go elsewhere. But they, this other group, are quite insistent that they can go wherever they wish, and they wish this place that we have designated for our landing area. And they will not go. And so I feel a sense of helplessness in a way.
Oh, I see.
That
what do you do?
at first we tried to resist them, but it seems they're superior in some ways. Oh, we are a peaceful people. We do not have weapons of war or engage in the art of war. But this group is very militant and very aggressive, and they have those type of tools. And so I feel rather helpless because I want to protect this place, but I don't really have the means to do so, nor do my people. And so I see us retreating kind of to the outskirts to see what will happen, what this group will do.
Oh, I see. Let's find out. Let's fast forward that life and see what happens. What happens? What does that group do?
I see that they have captured many of the animals and put them in cages, that they have no respect for the land, and so they burn things, they destroy things. It's not that they can ruin the land, but it's like they have, where they are, they dirty the land, they sully it, and they've taken many of the animals. I think they may be taking them for food.
Oh, how does that make your people feel?
Appalled. We feel appalled.
What do you guys eat?
We take our sustenance. It's like we drink in the very life force. It's almost like drinking in prana from the air, that we sustain ourselves. The sunlight is important to us. The energy of nature, it's like the energy of nature sustains us. We don't need to kill. And I don't see us raising crops, although we can taste things. we can like physically taste something like a piece of fruit, but we don't need to in order to sustain life.
I see. I see. And do you get a sense as to why these other people eat meat? What is it about them that makes them want to eat meat? Do you get a sense?
It seems that they are part of a system where domination is a key factor, and that which is more powerful dominates that which is less powerful.
Um, where does this system originate? Do you get a sense if you do you have access to that information?
I'm sorry, which originates?
Where does this system originate from?
From these people. Where does their system originate?
Yes.
Yes, I'm following the stream of their energy.
Uh-huh.
I keep hearing Taijeta.
Oh, okay.
Taijeta.
Okay. Interesting.
So they came through the Pleiades.
Oh, okay. Oh, really interesting. And so what happens then to your people as they eat, as you watch them eat this meat and take and come there and assert their dominance? What happens to your people?
I see that they cannot truly harm us
Oh, why?
because our composition is different than theirs.
How
Theirs is
so?
more substantial, more, in a way, it's like they're more physical than us, like
Oh,
more based in physical reality. It's like we are only a foot in the door of the physicality and a foot out the door to a more energetic state. So they cannot truly harm us, but we find we can only reside on the outskirts, that they have driven us from where we were, and we cannot really do anything about that. And so we wait for them to depart.
and what happens? Do they ever depart if you fast forward that?
Yes, this group will eventually depart, but other groups will come from their
Oh,
people.
oh, and do you get a sense that they all have the same origination? Do they all come through the Pleiades?
No, I see their existence going back further, that the Pleiades is a more recent stop, that
Oh,
in their migration or in their travels, they went through the Pleiades, but they did not originate there. I see their people expanding out. I think it's going back through Orion,
oh,
and I keep following that stream. And then it goes even farther back than Orion.
I see. Where does it go if you follow it all the way to the beginning? Is there a beginning?
It goes beyond our galaxy.
Oh,
I see this stream going beyond our galaxy. And 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 they came into this galaxy as an influx of energy, you might say, of a certain type of energy, certain type of qualities.
hmm.
that they brought in to this galaxy that were unique to them.
Oh, interesting. Was there a purpose for them to come into this galaxy?
In a way, they would bring a different point of view.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. Let's leave that scene and let's move ahead in time to the last moment of that life and be there now. What makes it the last moment?
I see myself very sad. I see it feels like tears streaming down my face in sorrow
Mm-hmm.
that we had hoped to preserve this world. We had hoped to maintain the beautiful garden that it was when we arrived.
Mm-hmm.
But we see that's no longer possible, and that we must abandon this world.
Where do you, and what happens?
And so I find myself one of the first to leave my form, my body, and dissolve back into energy, consciousness, pure consciousness
Could you
without
tell me what
form.
that's like? What is it like when your soul leaves that form? Could you describe it to me?
I'm feeling the sorrow, first of all, this great sorrow of this feeling of loss of this project, this incredible opportunity that was not to be. But as I separate from my body falls away from me. The feeling is of almost like a gentle weight just dropping away from me. And I feel much lighter once that is released.
And then what happens?
And I feel a new sense of purpose and resolve, that there's work to be done in other places, other areas. And I must not let this defeat, this situation, weigh me down or inhibit me from continuing on in my work.
And tell me, after your soul leaves that form, where does your soul go to? Is there a resting place? Is there a place where souls go to? Do you review your life, or is it not like that?
It's not a review of the life. No, I remember the life in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
I remember many lives as I look, that the stream of my lives are known to me. And I go and I gather with others who are in my state.
What do you mean in your state?
Non-physical, where our bodies have been released.
Oh,
For many of us did this as a group over a short span. And now we communicate amongst ourselves.
what is
And
the communication like?
it's effortless. as if we know each other's thoughts and intents, and we work to see we work together to find the most harmonious and effective way to continue our mission. We will look for another garden planet. We will look for another beautiful, pristine place where we will become caretakers. And we will do this over and over again. And in each place we go, we will leave a part of ourselves.
How do you leave? Go ahead.
We will leave certain knowledge that our people have gathered. We will share with the indigenous inhabitants things that they might lack in their education.
Is that where you leave the knowledge, or where do you leave the knowledge behind?
We leave it in many different ways. We can leave it as vibrations, as sound, as frequency, as vibrations that we can infuse into living matter or innate matter.
Did you do that before you left as your collective? Where did you leave these vibrations and this wisdom?
Oh, yes, we left much on that world. Even though we had to abandon that project, we left, you might say, a legacy for time in the future.
Where?
We infused stones, we left small devices that would look natural in the environment, that would blend in with the environment. That
Like what?
Like what?
Like what stones? Or what devices?
These devices are small, the size that you can hold in your hand, about the size of a palm or even smaller. Sometimes they look like rectangular in shape, like small boxes, but more with soft edges. They'd look almost stone-like or wooden-like.
I'm just wondering if people can access this vibration, or access these rocks, or access your wisdom.
In future on this world, for example, others may come across these. They will be drawn to them. They will feel something special, and they will pick them up. And that vibration will infuse their own energetic field, and knowledge will be passed on. And if that individual or being is not at a level that it can understand the information, it will retain still the frequencies, and they will be passed on yet to others and will circulate amongst the population until a developmental stage is reached where they can understand the information, and it will be like inspirations coming to them.
And why go ahead.
On how perhaps to build certain things, to do certain things.
Why the future? Why can't that be given to people now?
I speak as an example of that world.
Oh.
On that world, the people...
Is that a different world than Earth?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you get a sense as to where that world is?
I believe that world was also close to the system of the Pleiades.
Oh, and what about the planet Earth? Does the planet Earth have information there that has been left by your people at all? Or no?
Oh, yes, much.
Where?
It is on many of the continents. We were quite active on planet Earth. There were times where we had colonies that were present for millennia. And so we have infused even buildings and structures along with these small natural looking devices that are put in locations around the planet. At the times where our colonization was most active, our projects were most active on Earth.
I see. Are any of those places recognizable, and how do you use these places?
Oh, yes, I do see that. For example, I see that Egypt was a place that we left much of many of these devices, where we left much information behind. Also in the American Southwest, there are many places. I see in Africa,
And
across the continent.
what about Glastonbury, where Avalon used to be?
Yes, I feel a definite sense of connection to this place.
And when you left this information and these devices, how does somebody go about reading them or tuning into them? Is there anything they need to do?
In order in order to more consciously understand, one simply needs to sit quietly and to turn one's attention within and expand one's consciousness to unite with the greater whole. And one will find that these tendrils of vibration, of energy, will start to swirl in the consciousness and become more solid in the way that they convey tangible ideas and images and specific information that will be beneficial to the individual and the culture.
Oh, okay. Anything else about that that is interesting or important?
One cannot pick up one of those devices and have any ill intent. It will
Oh,
simply lay dormant. One must have a certain development of their heart, of their ability to hold love in order for these devices to work.